that time. It's late 2022. It's time to do Webster Pass.
All right, we're gonna grab some fuel before we head out west. So far, it is a beautiful Friday.
All right, made it to County Road 60. This takes us up to Webster Pass. So far, so good. So what I'm looking to find out today is do a little compare contrast between a ride today and a ride I did in the spring of 2021 on a completely different motorcycle. Still consider myself a new ADV rider, but at that point in 2021, I was brand new, and it wasn't the greatest ride that I've been on. In fact, it was not a lot of fun. Oh shit. Yeah, that day was pretty brutal and a bit of a rude awakening for adventure riding, or I guess just off-road riding. Let's fast forward to 2022. So it's kind of mid-September. The riding season in Colorado is, I don't want to say coming to a close, but the days are getting a little bit shorter. And I did want to get back up to Webster Pass and kind of compare my experience in 2022 and contrast that with my experience in 2021. This particular ride was filled with several different technical difficulties, from forgetting to turn on my chin camera at times to breaking my chin camera's mount, and then having to figure out how to record audio. And here you can see the 360 camera footage getting upscaled to 4K. It's not ideal, but it gives you a little bit of a feel for the beginning of the trail. The trail starts, at least on the south side, by picking up Colorado 60 from Highway 285, and then you'll head north a little ways. Here I would say I picked up the trailhead itself, and I'm coming to a Y. Off to the right is the Red Cone Trail, and then to the left is Webster Pass. The beginning of the trail starts off a little bit rocky, and then it proceeds to just kind of more of a narrower jeep trail with some rocks interspersed with a few water crossings. Nothing big at this point. Certainly the time of year will play a pivotal role in how much water you'll come across. Here you can see there's still a bit of rocky terrain out there that I've encountered as well, but this is probably 20-25 minutes up the trail. All right, so far so good. Definitely I don't want to say much easier. It's a lot different than it was last year in terms of skill level. So I feel like got a little bit more confidence, which probably goes a long way in application to skill level. So I've stopped here in what I believe is probably an old mine area, probably a tailings area right here. So I think I'm going to launch the drone here, fly it around, and I might see if I can quickly hop on the bike and have it follow me. So here I'm using a Skydio 2 drone, which I had purchased specifically to do follow cam footage from the air. I don't have a lot of time using it, so very rusty. In this particular scenario, I wanted to launch it. The clearing that I launched it from was a great place to begin a flight, but the quadcopter itself, or the Skydio, is kind of off to my left and catching a lot of trees. So I'll pop in and out of frame from time to time.
That drone out there, I mean, you want to watch it, but at the same time, you can't afford to not look at the trail. So
yeah, this first drone flight worked out okay. I got some nice footage that you'll see kind of interspersed with some of the chin footage. But I did lose GPS lock at one point with the drone. Had to turn around and catch it basically before it decided to land where it needed to land from a battery perspective. So, a couple of quick thoughts on the Pan America. At this point, I am definitely enjoying the ride much more than I did on the KTM 390 Adventure. The Pan America feels much more planted and much more controlled than the KTM 390 did for me. Definitely enjoying the Pan America, and I was pretty intentional about I didn't want to watch any information on Webster Pass. I didn't want to go back and watch my video. I just wanted to try and encounter the trail with blindly as much as possible. A couple of things that I did remember from last year that I didn't care for, and one of those was the amount of water that was coming down the trail. So we're going to encounter a little bit of that, and you'll kind of get a feel for what that looks like. Again, the Pan America handled that portion of the trail pretty easily. And I'm sure that's a combo of the motorcycle and just being a little bit more used to riding. You'll notice that my breathing at 10,000 feet as we're going up is getting to be I don't want to say labored, but a little bit of a pace to it. And I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm trying to get as many sniffles out of the audio as I can.
All right. Well, there's still water across the road. I do remember that from last year. Going to be quite the interesting view up here. We got Red Cone up off to the right, and up in front of us, I doubt if you can make it out, but there are definitely some switchbacks.
As we're climbing in elevation, you'll notice a change in the terrain. We're starting to see a lot larger rocks with a lot higher frequency, and you're going to get a little bit more water damage from time to time, some rutting, things like that on the trail. So overall, the trail does get progressively harder the farther you travel in and up. And you'll see from time to time I'm moving from side to side on the trail to ideally to get good sight lines around corners, and also I'm trying to pick a decent line through the trail itself. The weather on this ride was phenomenal. Temps in the low 70s, and as we're climbing in elevation, the temperature's coming down. We're getting a lot of sun at this point, although we do encounter some low clouds and just some light drizzle later on in the ride. Traffic on the trail was super light. Here I'm encountering one other rider, and then just up around the bend we'll see a couple of vehicles and a side-by-side. Did not encounter a lot of folks, which was nice. It made navigating the trail pretty easy. Here it looks like we've got an older Zuzu and Crosstrek, the venerable Subaru that you'll find in the wild out on the trails in Colorado. And there I killed it right in front of everybody. So got the bike started up again and went on my way. Here's another patch where there's water that's coming down the trail, so it feels as if you're riding up a stream or a creek bed. It's not too challenging, but it is maybe a little unnerving. And this is about the point where the drone says, hey, I don't have a link back to the controller anymore. And I'm just blissfully unaware, riding up, thinking to myself, this is really a lot of fun. No issues. I'm not worried about dropping the bike at all. The ergonomics on the Pan America have been phenomenal for me. I get up to a point here shortly and realize that, hey, the drone's not with me. So I have to turn around. I go back and find the drone and decide I'm going to take a break for probably 20 minutes or so. And in that process, I dropped my helmet, broke the mount for my GoPro, the chin mount, and cooled down quite a bit. And then some clouds came in. So you'll notice that there's definitely a change in some of the footage from sunny and plenty of shadows to overcast.
This looks pretty good up here.
So I've repositioned my Insta360 up front. And then I've got my chin mounted GoPro in my tank bag, still recording audio. So I've just had to multicam those guys together. There, I'm going to take the right-hand trail. The left one didn't necessarily look too rough, but at the same time, if you're going to self-rescue, you're going to have to take a little bit of caution with some of the choices that you make.
Definitely got cooled off from that stop and trying to get the cameras and everything worked around. Let's see here. I think this would be a great opportunity to start up the drone again.
All right, quick stop to get the drone launched for the final push to the summit of Webster Pass. So last year in 2021, we made it just a little bit past this point until we encountered a Jeep that was about half off the road, and I was not comfortable with trying to push past that.
Baby heads. Yeah, it is a bit puckery. I'm not gonna lie there.
So here I'm coming up to a right-hand turn, which I did recall from last year, and I didn't care for this particular turn last year. So I decided to go wide, just so I could survey the corner and get some sort of a decent line off this perch. And I felt comfortable doing that. I'm sure you could make that corner without any problem, but based upon my experience last year, I felt pretty comfortable in just making a quick stop to survey what this looked like.
Back up a touch.
In my experience, this really illustrates how having an obstacle or a feature like that in your head really messes with your confidence.
Time to roll. Okay. This is about what I think I made it up to last time. And it was, there just wasn't anything left. Jeep was here blocking the road. A little rough there, but what you gonna do? Come on, baby. Woo! A little puckering there. Alright, making it up. Man, I really hope that I'm getting the audio from this. Looks like I've got a switchback coming up. I don't know if I could have hit that gigantic rock any more square.
Boy, I'm just toughing and puffing. Clearly I've got to do some cardio and lose a couple of pounds. But the ride up today has been phenomenal. In my opinion, the Pan America definitely is the right bike for me when compared to the KTM 390 Adventure. Definitely that kind of apples to oranges comparison insofar as price point, and capability, bike size. I suppose the biggest thing they have in common is they're both ADV bikes, but the Pan America is so much more capable in my use case.
Realized there was a switchback there. Gotta look up and out. Up and out. I don't think we have another switchback here for a moment.
So the end is in sight here. The saddle straight up ahead of us is where we're going to hit Webster Pass. You can see kind of a side view provided by the Skydio 2, and it does an incredible job of tracking. Something that I definitely need to practice with a bit more. I'd love to get more aerial footage. I do believe most folks will choose to ride this particular trail from the north to the south, but as you can see, either direction is completely doable, and the trail was a lot of fun this time. I had a great time. The Pan America did phenomenal. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Webster Pass 2.0. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to get them answered. And thanks for taking the time to watch. All in all, it was a pretty uneventful ride. Made it all the way to the top, getting some of my stuff situated, and then these two old dudes on dirt bikes decided to go up the downhill only trail on Redcomb. And I'm sure plenty of people have done that. It's one way, but it's just a sign. So I'm sure they've done it time and time again. But in this instance today, one of them ends up laying his bike over and sustains a bit of an injury. So I notice it, wait probably a good 5 minutes. Guy doesn't get up, so I grab the first aid kit, walk up, get him going. His bike's broken down. He's already down at the bottom, and here his buddy is getting ready to ride down. And they, I think they called it a little bit short that day. So stay safe out there, everybody.